What will happen to Social Security under President Biden? Welcome back, everyone. We haven't discussed Social Security in quite a while, but I do want to discuss it in today's video, but specifically how the Biden presidency and President Biden are affecting Social Security. What will Social Security look like next year? What will it look like in 5-10 years because of the Biden admin? We'll be discussing everything you need to know in today's video. Let's get started and dive right in. But before we do, as always, make sure you folks do a couple things for me. Number one, give this video a tremendous thumbs up. Smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button and have notifications turned on. Once we hit 20,000 subscribers, we'll actually do another cash giveaway where we give away double the amount of cash that we gave away at 10,000 subscribers. With that being said, let's get started and get right down to it. So it's no secret that President Biden did not inherit the perfect Social Security program. It was already overextended, underfunded, and already overcrowded with aging baby boomers. Social Security already had dwindling funds, but the pandemic further put more strain on the system. The SSA, or the Social Security Administration, which is the agency in charge of the program, became anemic after a decade of budgetary neglect when the virus shuttered its offices, thinned its staff, gobbled up its budget, and swelled its rolls. And now with the rampant inflation, recipients under Social Security have been forced to stretch their benefits until they cannot stretch them any longer. Naturally, President Biden had to act on this disaster. Now, his actions have by no means been universally applauded. However, his presidency certainly leaves an indelible mark on the program, which represents the bedrock of America's social safety net. 2022 is shaping up to be the most consequential year for Social Security in history. So let's talk about exactly what has taken place since Biden has assumed the office. First of all, some of the changes that were implemented last year have already taken effect. Number one, most paramount, has been that COLA adjustment, which was one of the largest in history. Social Security recipients started 2022 with the biggest boost to their benefits since 1982. To help retirees cope with the highest inflation rate in 40 years, Biden oversaw a cost of living adjustment of 5.9%, which boosted the average recipient's check by $92 from $1,565 per month to $1,657 per month. Now, this change isn't necessarily something to be proud of if you're the president of the United States, because it means that there's rampant soaring inflation all over the country and the cost of living gets more and more by the day. Nonetheless, recipients enjoyed this change as it was implemented starting in January of this year, but the largest COLA adjustment in nearly 4 decades is not the only change that's been made under the Biden admin. Social Security recipients who have not yet reached full retirement age, or FRA, can collect their full benefits while still earning income up to a certain threshold. Now, that's not brand new. However, this year, that income threshold went up. In 2021, recipients can earn up to $18,960 before the SSA temporarily withheld $1 for every $2 in earned income. In 2022, that threshold went up to $19,560. If you reach FRA, or full retirement age, in 2022, you can earn as much as $51,960 before the SSA starts pulling $1 from your check for every $3 you earn, compared to $50,520 last year. This is what's known as the income test, and it never applies to beneficiaries who have already reached full retirement age. And 2023 is already shaping up to be a historic year for the SSA, because under President Biden's proposed 2023 budget, we could be seeing an added $1.8 billion in discretionary funding for the SSA, which administers benefits to 70 million Americans. That would be a 14% increase over the funding levels enacted in 2021 to bring the total to $14.8 billion. Nearly all of the new funding, which is $1.6 out of $1.8 billion, would ultimately go to improving services for the more than 6 million retirement, survivor, and Medicare claims the SSA processes each year, as well as 2 million disability and SSI claims. The money would be spread around to field offices, teleservice centers for retirees, and state disability determination services, while funding investments in things like decreasing customer wait times, better outreach to people who are hard to locate, a simplified application process, modernized information technology systems, improved 800 number access, and improvements to online services. The remaining $224 million would go to program integrity, responsible spending initiatives, and the investigation and prosecution of fraud. So important. Biden's proposal did not come without backlash, but you would think it would come from Republicans. Believe it or not, it's actually coming from Social Security advocacy groups. They're expressing strong disappointment. According to reports, some groups thought that Biden's proposed increases to funding did not go far enough. The National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, for example, expressed disappointment that the 2023 budget proposals did not increase benefits and adjust the payroll wage cap so that the wealthy could pay more into the system. Currently, wages over $147,000 are not taxed for Social Security purposes. Of course, if you were to tweak that cap, more Americans would pay into the system and provide more funding to the SSA, but other groups took even more issues with Biden's proposal. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, on the other hand, was upset with the fact that Biden's budget proposals didn't address the program's trust funds, which will be depleted in 2034 and able to pay only 78% of promised benefits. It's important to note that Biden's proposed plans do not address Social Security's long-term solvency problem, but rather Biden's proposed budget would provide a much-needed financial shot in the arm of a system that is bordering on dysfunction. Funding to the SSA has steadily been declining since 2010, and yet every year there are more and more baby boomers that need these benefits and need to survive. The SSA's budget has dropped 14% since 2010. It lost 13% of its employees and closed 67 of its field offices, but at the same time, the number of beneficiaries participating in the program increased by 21%, from 54 million to 65 million. The program was already spread too thin, but the pandemic has pushed the agency to its limit. Now, the agency closed about 1,200 of its remaining field offices for the pandemic, and they did reopen about 98% of them this April. However, with the reopening, they were only manned with about 50 to 60% of the required staff. In May, congressional leaders met to discuss the breakdown of the agency's services. In 2010, the average wait time to get an answer on the SSA's toll-free number was about 3 minutes. Now in 2019, that increased to 20 minutes. Lawmakers who attended this meeting had said that their offices had become de facto SSA hotlines. After waiting on extended holds after multiple tries, their elderly constituents were simply calling the offices of their congressional representatives for answers to their Social Security questions instead. Between 2008 and 2019, 109,000 applicants for disability benefits died while waiting for appeals. It is absolutely disgraceful that the SSA cannot serve the American people, and it has become fatal. Recipients and people that need this money badly cannot get a hold of their SSA offices, whether it's the federal number or their local offices, and it is proven to be deadly. Our elderly, our baby boomers paid into the system for decades and were promised freedom. They were promised substantial money to be able to survive. And right now, they cannot even survive because they're becoming homeless and unable to pay for food on the table. It's fantastic that Biden has implemented some changes and is proposed some funding to the SSA. However, the fact is there is a lot more work to be done here and a lot more that President Biden has to do. I am sure that our elderly, our disabled, and the American people in general are going to be thinking with their wallets come this November with the midterm elections when it comes time to cast their ballot. They're going to be thinking about how much money that they have in their pockets and how life has been under this inflation and this economy, and that will definitely influence their voting choice. Hopefully more changes are to come, which means more news is on the way for Social Security. All updates can be found right here on this channel. This is your one-stop shop. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and have notifications turned on. Click that bell because we post videos here every single solitary week with no exceptions and no excuses. And if you want to get some free stocks, all meal free, use the links down below in the description of this video. Sign up with the brokerage platforms, Robinhood and or Webull. You'll get some free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases, so let us know what stocks you get. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook. Use the links down below, and I look forward to meeting you there. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care for now.